So, it's been a bad week for peace in Europe. The Russians have invaded Ukraine, as if you didn't know that already. No one really expected that in Europe. We've seen wars around the world. No one seems to raise an eyelid despite the terrible atrocities that have been taking place around the world, and often in our names in the West as well. I'm looking at you, Middle East, very much. And somehow we normalise that. But when it happens in Europe, in a democracy, suddenly everyone's freaking out. And I'm freaking out a bit as well. I feel for the Ukrainian people. They are feeling like a fairly strong democracy, yet nonetheless they're close to an increasingly authoritarian, dictatorial Russia run by Vladimir Putin, who clearly decides and has decided that he wants a return to the days of the USSR, the Warsaw Pact, big buffer state, and Cold War warriors at the fore. So, and actually, bizarrely, I'm listening right now to a short history of rock and roll music in Ukrainian. And funny enough, the song they're covering here is back in the USSR, because clearly that is what Vladimir Putin wants, a return to the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. And this is an ugly way to go about it. And of course, we're all worried about nuclear war. So, at those sort of times, you wind up with a figurehead, or you sometimes do. Ukraine is not just rolled over. It's a big country, 40 million people. And its president is, I don't think, the person that people are expecting to be the hero of the moment. Yet there he is, 44 years old, a former actor and comedian with his young family, saying that they're going to stand up to the Russians. And so far they've had some success. I mean, we can't expect it to go on forever. It's a smaller country, and Russia is a superpower and has probably enough to win. And everyone else is too scared to sort of go in physically. There's not going to be any American or European, NATO troops going in, as far as I can tell. But I don't know. It's not my specialty. Yet, nonetheless, I feel that we can at least empathise and sympathise with the Ukrainian people at this terrible time, and I do that. So I'm wearing a yellow and blue shirt. It's Arsenal, of course. That's the yellow and blue shirt that I have. It was never worn by the Ukrainian player we had on the team. That was Oleg Luzhny. He left the year before this shirt was adopted. His last game was in the FA Cup final against Southampton, and which we won. And really, he should have been man of the match. He was awesome in that game. But nonetheless. So anyway, I'm thinking of Volodymyr Zelenskyy now as the Russian troops are getting closer to Kyiv. And I saw in Britain that a couple of places have come up with a Zelenskyy cocktail, and that is exactly what I'm going to make right here. And it's of course going to be a vodka drink. I do not have any Ukrainian vodka. I don't know if I could even buy it in this town or next in Moscow, where I often buy my hard spirits. It's a Olympia vodka. Nonetheless, it's vodka. When I was in the Soviet Union, that is what there was. There was a lot of vodka. And I am going to put in 2 ounces of that into my shaker. And then added to that, one of the recipes I saw from London, and I can't remember if it was the one in the Polish bar in London, or if I think it was that one. They used apricot brandy. I don't have that, but I do have peach schnapps. And I'm going to use that. This is like the original elderflower liqueur, the bartender's butter. You can put it in all kinds of drinks, and it just mellows out and smooths out the drink very well. And I'm pretty sure that they grow peaches in Ukraine. So I think this is a legit ingredient to put in. I'm only going to put in a half an ounce of that, like so. I'm going to sweeten it a little bit more. This is a fairly sweet cocktail. If you don't want it that sweet, use a little less of this, but I'm also putting in a half an ounce of sugar syrup. And with all these drinks, balance them out if you want to. Stick in more vodka if you want. I mean, seriously, the news is bad enough. You might just want a lot more vodka in this drink. And, I agree with that. Let's have a little more vodka in this drink. I think we need it. It's been a rough week. And then the next ingredient, I'm going to put in some lemon juice, because I'm going to try and make a flag in the colour, a drink in the colours of the Ukrainian flag, which is of course yellow and blue. So here we go with some lemon juice that I squeezed earlier. I'm going to put in 1 ounce of that, and then we're going to give that a quick shake. We don't need to shake it too much. just enough to get it cold. Kind of a sort of shell-like cocktail shape. I'm not trying to, minimize this. It's my cocktail shaker, but it's not. This aggression should not stand, man, as the dude would say. We're going to put in crushed ice into this drink. I've got a freezer that dispenses crushed ice. Oh no, wait! Before I do that, to get that extra sort of glimpse of yellow, I'm going to take a slice of lemon and drop it into the bottom of my glass like that. It's a tall glass that will help create the effects of a Ukrainian flag. I'm going to put in some crushed ice. If your freezer doesn't dispense crushed ice, you can just put it in a bag and whack it on the ground a little bit, and that will exactly do the trick. I guarantee it, more or less. Okay, that's about enough for now, I think. I'm going to strain this drink into my tall glass filled with the crushed ice. There we are, that's about, oh, there we go, that's about right. It's kind of yellowish in the drink there, but what we need is some blue now, and I'm going to use blue curaçao on top. Now, this is going to be tricky because it'll all sink to the bottom, so I'm going to try and strain it over a spoon to kind of delay that moment a little bit, to just try and get the blue and yellow there. That's good. We can just about see there's the yellow in the bottom, although the blue is streaking down there very fast because it's a little bit heavier and thicker. Maybe I could have done these drinks the other way round, but I kind of wanted the blue on top. I'm going to put a cherry as a garnish, and also a little slice of lemon, because that way we really do get the sort of yellow and blue, which is otherwise quite hidden by the blue curacao. But I think we've got the colors there, and I'm going to drink a drink to President Zelenskyy of the Ukraine, or not the Ukraine, Ukraine. The Ukraine is, as Russians often call it. We're going with Ukraine on this. Cheers and good luck.